Good afternoon, happy stampers, and welcome to my Happy Stamping Studio. My name is Judi Anderson, and I'm an independent demonstrator and team leader of the Happy Stampers and Ink here in the United States. I'd like to welcome you to my stamping studio. So I want to say hi to all my live viewers and those watching on replay as well. I have not gotten on my phone yet, so I need to make sure that I am live. So if you're watching live, please say hello. Let me know where you're coming from in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook. On YouTube, you can comment. Just say, hey, from Illinois or hey, from California. Let me know where you're coming from. If you're watching on replay, please comment replay so I know that you caught the replay. Because I know not everybody can come on board when I am here, and that is why I do the lives and keep them up for you to watch. Although I do enjoy you being on live with me and saying hello. So let me see. Okay, I'm getting on here, and it does look like I am live. So awesome. Let me put my phone over here. I am streaming on StreamYard, so you may have to give StreamYard permission to post your comments so I can see them as I am here. So we are doing Christmas in July. Let me flip this camera around. Okay, we are continuing with the Lights Aglow Suite. And this is found on pages 30 and 31 of the mini catalog. It does also separate them on pages 32 and 33, and you get even more samples. I love this sample that is seen right here in here. In fact, I was almost going to duplicate that today. I may save that for Thursday evening. I don't know. I love that idea, and I think it's just adorable. So we have been working with the Christmas Lights bundle yesterday and today, which is the stamp set and the dies. But we have been using the Brightest Glow verses. I love when we have a bunch of holiday verses that can go on the front and on the inside of your card. Okay, and I have a little scratch in my throat right now. So I want to apologize. Once again, here's the stamp set and the dies. And today I am actually going to be using the snowflake. So we are going to take that out. And I am going to be using the big snowflake die. I am not going to use the inside, but rather just the outside. So I'm going to remove that now while I have it out. And then next we have the Brightest Glow words. And I know that I want a Merry Christmas, but I think this Merry Christmas is going to be just a little bit too big. So I am thinking Happy Holidays is going to be it for today. So let's grab our Happy Holidays and we will mount that onto a block. So we have that ready. As you're watching me today, I'm going to be doing some stamping. And what I want you to tell me is if you think I should stamp in Evening Evergreen, which is a really deep green, or Soft Succulent. You'll see the card base in that in just a second, but I want you to be thinking about that as I show you my pieces. And then this is the die set that goes with the Brightest Glow. I am going to be using that in a future project. And then yesterday I discussed the Lights Aglow Designer Series paper. Now this is 6x6, a stack of 6x6 paper. You get 12 different designs and 4 of each. So it is double-sided. I'm just going to breeze through those very quickly, just in case you did not see my opening sneak peek video when I opened my original box up when I did my pre-order as a demonstrator. As demonstrators, we can order a month prior to customers, and that gives us enough time, or maybe not enough time, but it allows to give us time to start prepping some projects using the new products. Excuse me. We are actually using this one here, and I just love, when I did my opening of the box, I couldn't think of what this technique on the back, and it's called bouquet. It is used in filmmaking, and as you can see, several of these have foiled images on one side. This is another gorgeous paper. This one you could cut into quarters and use on a card. And here, this is just the bouquet. And look at this. This looks like your trees with lights on them in your front yard. And then this one would be great for New Year's as this one. Okay, so this is the paper stack. So let's get with our card. So my card base is Pool Party. I know that the paper that I'm using today is soft succulent. Excuse me, I'm just going to try to take a drink. I'm hoping that helps. Now, Pool Party is not listed as a color. Soft succulent, basic black, cherry cobbler, evening evergreen, and very vanilla are the colors listed on here that coordinate with the paper. But I know that Pool Party coordinates with soft succulent beautifully, and I wanted to bring more of the blues out of the soft succulent. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. We're going to go ahead and burnish that fold line. Then we have our piece of Designer Series paper, and this measures 4 by 5 1/4, and we are going to do a little bit of roughing up of our paper. Yeah. So I'm going to take my paper snips, and ooh, they need cleaning. Didn't realize they were so dirty. And I want to roughen up some of the edging here. I don't want this to be so perfect. Now, you wouldn't have to do this, but I love this technique, and it's so simple to do. So all I'm doing is holding my paper and kind of rubbing my paper snips. Now, you could do it opened up like this. Just be careful that you don't cut yourself. And I just hold my paper like this and just kind of run that on that edge, roughing it up. And you can see how it's kind of tearing that a little bit and giving it that rough edge. And you don't have to have the whole thing rough. I'm just going to kind of rough it up as we go along here. This is a fun technique to add interest to your layers. Okay, let's get that. And then on this corner, I want to curl this corner up just a little bit. Okay, so I am taking my bone folder and just breaking up some of those fibers a little bit in this paper. And once I get it to where I want it, that it folds pretty easily, because normally I would curl this over, but I don't want so much green. I do want the blue or the soft succulent. I do want to rough this corner up just a little bit more. Okay, then what I want to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to kind of fold it towards me and then just fold it up. Just like that. So now we do have a little hint of the evening evergreen. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a couple of mini glue dots and just put them there to hold that down. So I'm going to put one here, and that is going to hold it this way. And now I want this piece to be held that way. So I'm just taking another mini glue dot, placing it right here, and just sticking it there. Yes, sticking it there. Okay, I don't want it solid down. So I do like that it is raised in some areas. See how this is not flat down, and neither is my flap. That you don't want it plastered down, and that's why I don't use the tape in that corner when I'm doing this technique. Okay, so this piece is ready. If you want it roughed up a little bit more, you can go ahead and do it. You know, it's up to you. But now I'm not going to put my adhesive really close to the edge. In fact, I'm going to use the liquid adhesive right now. And our liquid glue. And I'm going to just put it slightly away from the edge and down the middle. Okay, and we're going to put that on the front, just like that. Okay, and then just press. Okay, and see how the edge, you see a little shadow. That means those edges are raised a little bit. I didn't want those real flat. So perfect. So our next pieces are, I have a piece of Pool Party that measures 1 3/4 inches by 4 inches. So this is what we're going to be putting our sentiment on. And then I have 2 pieces that measure 1 3/8 by about 3 3/4. It doesn't really matter how long you make these because I am going to be doing the same technique. I'm going to be roughing up these edges a little bit. So I'm going to take my scissors or my paper snips and I am going to do the same thing. And I want these really rough. And I want them actually to kind of curl up like that. So you could, if you wanted, you could cut these at an angle if you wanted. Okay, I'm going to do this one and get it pretty rough. So see how rough that is? And I'm just going to bend it up a little bit. And I want it to go to an angle. Okay, and now I'm going to do this one also. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to rough up those edges with my paper snips. And see how I'm holding my finger here? That helps hold your paper and helps you get that good roughage. What a word, roughage. Okay, so we have that. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, but I want this edge to be a little bit more. So I don't want these necessarily straight up and down. I am digging into it quite a bit to make that appearance. And then I'm just going to kind of curl those up a little bit. Okay, so we have those. Those are going to be placed on here. But I want to do my sentiment first. So we're going to move this over. And have you decided what color should I use? Should I use the soft succulent or the evening evergreen? Please comment. Let me know which you think. Okay, I've got a couple. I've got 1 and 1, so it's tied right now. So while you guys are battling that out, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp my snowflake here on my basic white. I am going to stamp that in the soft succulent just because on the evening evergreen, just because on my paper this image is printed in evening evergreen. Just hold it there, even pressure, and then up. And look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? It's hard to tell that it's green. Okay, so I'm going to get the die, and you're going to see how this die lines up just like that. So we're going to be able to cut it, and it's going to be cut, and then it's going to have some cutout pieces from the center. So let me grab my big guy, my large cut and emboss machine. I'm going to set this right on here. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Nancy says the evening evergreen. Okay, so you've broken the tie, Nancy. And I'm getting ready to stamp. I think the evening evergreen is going to show up a little bit more. So see how, oops, the die cuts it out, but it's not detailed. Now, I could cut the center out and have these detailed in the center. In fact, I think I'm going to, because it's a little bit more solid than I thought it was going to be. If I was smart, I could have cut these at the same time, like we did the tree yesterday. Remember, I cut both the inside and the outside of the tree at the same time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to line these up in those white spaces right in there. Put this in, push it flat down, keep squeezing it, run it in the machine, and just run it through. I'm going to run it back again. Okay, and it's cut out. Now I do have some chads in there, so I'm just going to take my fingernails. You can take your brush and clean those out. You could take your pick tool. You can take your paper piercer and clean out those chads. But there was only a couple. And that does make a difference there with that. Okay, so let's grab our other pieces. So I am going to stamp Happy Holidays on here. And you know what? I'm thinking that I might be able to use a different one. I think I'm doing, because this is thick enough. I like joy. In fact, that is my word of choice, is joy. It is just appropriate for so many different occasions. Okay, so we're going to go right here, and I am going to stamp it in the center, up and down, off to the left. Just even pressure. There we go. And I do agree, Nancy, I like the evening evergreen. I think that the soft succulent would have blended too much. Okay, so we are going to be putting this on. And I'm going to put this down here. This is going to go up here. And I am thinking I'm going to trim those. I think they're a little bit too wide. So once again, I started with 1 3/8. I'm going to cut these down to 1. I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off of these, or 1/4 inch. So, just about a 1/4 inch. That one I don't think was so straight. Either was this one. So let's get this lined up here. I think it's moving because of my cut edges, or my crinkled edges there. That one's much better. Let's get this one on here. I go one up. They don't have to be even. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have those crinkled up, but I am going to add a little bit more to my paper. So I want to reach into my stamp set. And in here, we have these little snowflakes. So I'm going to take those little snowflakes and my white ink pad. And I'm going to stamp on those. Now, normally I would have done this first, but I was thinking, you know what, I want a little bit more white on here. And it's okay if I don't get it all over the entire thing, but here we're just going to stamp these all over. Now remember, the white ink is a pigment ink, and it does take a little bit longer to dry. So I'm just going to set that on there, and let's stamp these up. Yeah, you can turn your stamp around, or you can just stamp across. I'm kind of turning it around, flipping that up just a little bit. There we go. I like that a lot better. Okay, so for positioning, I want this up here a little bit, and I just want that joy peeking out. Okay, so I'm going to go there. This one's actually going to be up a little bit more, and I'm going to center it, and it does not bother me that this is out. So I'm thinking that that is a good spot. So I'm just kind of looking where I've got it. I've got it about a 1/4 inch below that. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Stampin' Seal and put this on. And we're going to jazz this up a little bit in the end. Add a little bit of sparkle to our background. Okay, on this piece, I am just putting a strip right down the center. Once again, I don't want those top and bottom edges plastered down. So I do want this kind of centered in here. Let's get it down. So that joy is peeking out. I'm not going to rub that because it is still just a little bit damp. I can tell by looking at the ink, it's a little bit shiny. So if it's a little bit shiny, you know that it is still a little damp. Okay, so I'm looking at the joy, bringing this up to the J. The Y is a little bit shorter. So I'm just looking at my spacing here, and then I'm just going to press just like that. Okay, now on this snowflake, I want to add dimensionals. So you know that we've got these holes. So when you flip it over, take a look and see all those spaces that you can put dimensionals and it won't show on the front. That's what you're looking for when you're placing your dimensionals and you have little lacy holes within your die cuts. I call this a lacy snowflake. I am telling you, I have been busy making some card kits for my scrapbook expo that I have coming up. So if you're in the Chicagoland area or the nearby areas and want to take a little weekend trip, it's being held at the Renaissance Center in Schaumburg. It's the conference center in Schaumburg, Illinois. I'd love to see you. And if you come to my booth and say hello, I will have a gift for you. We'll be doing make and takes. I'll have retired items for sale. So if there's some retired items that you're looking for, I'll have a special during the expo. And it's going on the 19th and 20th. So it's Friday and Saturday of August. Okay, we're going to set this right in here. And look how good that fits. Now you're going to notice it's poking up a little bit. This is where we're going to flatten this down just a smidge. Okay, just a smidge, just like that. Okay, and this is quite an easy card. And if you remember yesterday, whoops, I said that I would be using some other products from some other suites, and these are the adhesive back sequins and gems. I'm going to tell you guys, these are gorgeous. I know I have a pack open, but I didn't see it, so I'm going to open this pack up, and we're going to add a little bit of these. Now, you could also just add rhinestones, but I just think the colors in here are gorgeous and are really going to bring this to the next level. Now, I'm not going to put all these on there. I am going to choose some of these sequins. And when you're doing this, be careful. First of all, you want to make sure you have enough of the embellishments that you're using. And number two, you can always use different embellishments on your cards. Nobody's going to see the other person's card, except for your relatives, right? Nobody sees my cards, you know, so if you copy something, I just want to get that. More than welcome to copy. And let's see, in the center, I think I'm going to do the pink. So I did every other with the pink iridescent and every other with the blue-green iridescent. And I think that that is just perfect for this card. Now, I will do an inside. I will wait until I go to send it because I like to personalize it with the saying on the inside also. So I hope you guys enjoy this card today. Like I said, it is quite simple. It uses the 6x6 designer series paper, and you can change out the colors. Don't be scared to use the reds. Use the black. Use the greens in there. You could use any color for your base. You could use this vanilla with a gold. I don't think I would use these on the back side. This one you could use, and you could choose what color you want to use for your snowflake. You could use this one. Any of these, like I said, even the trees or just the bouquet on the back. But look, this one would be gorgeous. It'd be like, I would position this so that the snowflake was hanging out of the tree limb. And I'd probably use the smaller images on that one. So I would do a couple of these. I'll probably do 3 of these on there, do a joy, and have them hanging out of the tree. I think that'd be gorgeous. Same layout. Happy New Year. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Debbie loves the snowflake. Thanks, Deb. So I hope you guys enjoyed this card and are enjoying learning some ideas and some tips along the way using this Lights Aglow suite. Tomorrow I'm on at 4 o'clock, and that's back to the basics. So we're going to do a super simple card using this suite. Until next time, everybody, happy stamping.